Hello again, and welcome back to the water pump saga for the Triumph 1980 TR7. First off, as I mentioned in the previous video, one of my subscribers and a chap that I'm currently working with had sent me a little present because he'd seen my issues with my current LED torch, and he sent me this one. And a nice little unit it is too, and it has various options with it, as you do get with these things now. And yeah, it's a torch, and it's also it's a LED light, and it can, you know, stick in pretty much anywhere. And it's got a hook effect as well. I can add more lighting to it, and yeah, so I'll take away my other torches. Nice bit of lighting there. So the impeller housing was refaced. I'll put on a picture of that, of the impeller. So that was faced. It's all gone back in again. I've started the engine up and I've got no leak, which is fantastic. However, what I do have is on the thermostat housing, this alley part here, I've stripped a bolt on there, trying to tighten it up, and you know, it's one of those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill that out and put a helicoil in. I've got my basic kit here, so I'm going to start that now. But rather than just drill straight away, I'm going to actually drill out the sequentially with the I'm going to go with the 7.5mm first. Otherwise, if you go straight with an M10 with a cordless drill, it can be a bit get my drill bit in. So I'm just going to drill out the first bit, and I've got some anti-seize compound here. Dab that on the bit on the drill. I'm sure you can see that. So I'm going to go straight in. I've got all that bit there, it's coming out, which is nice. Now what I do is when I drill it out, put the next drill in. I'll put an 8, go up to an 8 now. Dab that into the anti-seize compound. Drill it out to an 8. Get as nice and straight as possible. Start off slow and then speed up. There you go. Clean that off. Get rid of this external swarf. Got a little trick for getting any remnants out once you finally drilled out before you even start putting the helicoil in. So I'm going to go for the M10 now. Easy. Back in. Might just bind it a little bit. She is. That's all tapped out. Get rid of the swarf there. Ooh, not in the hole. Now, what I do is to clean the drill bit off. Put that back in its boots. Now, what I do is I've got a little drill bit here. You see that in the light, and what I do is I actually magnetize this little drill bit. Actually, I'll got some better, stronger neodymium somewhere. Such as these. And I'll just magnetise this quite strongly. And then I go into the hole and I welly it around a bit, and oh, that's pretty clean actually, saying that. I'll pick up these bits of swarf here, see there, my old rag. It is a bit alley, but I mean it's, yeah, no remnants of the bolt in there, so that's good. I shall begin to tap it out with an M10, and again anti-seize compound or the cutting compound onto my tap. Get it as straight as possible. Now my little adjuster here, or the ratchet for the tapping, this is too small. My larger one, I don't know what happened to my larger one. I might have lent it to somebody, but I can't remember. And I've only got the smaller size one left, so I can't use this. So what I have to do is use my adjustable, put a bit of pressure on it and get it started off. Keep it straight as possible. Not sure if you can see that. It's going in. And as one thing happens, my battery just died as I tried to zoom in a bit. So here we are, back to it. It's slight an angle, is that? I don't know. It's, let's have a look if it's going to focus in. Focus. Like I was saying, it's all back together again, and there was no leaks. I'll show you that later when the engine's running. But I just needed to get this. I felt that that bolt was stripping slightly. It was getting weaker and weaker, and being in an alley recess, she gave up very quick, very easy. It's the nature of the beast when you're actually doing these things, especially with the alleys. I've probably over tightened it at one point, which has started to thread, but this helicoil kit is for £26 what it was is very good buy, because it's got me out of jail quite a few times now. And that's going in nicely there. If I do it this way, put a bit of pressure on it. And then come back. That's it, she's going in nice. So the refacing of the impeller, where the bottom of the impeller, where it sits with the seal on the spindle assembly, the top of the spindle assembly for the water pump, the Andy in Restoration said to me, even though you file that down and get it smooth as possible, he said, you think it's right and it's nice, he said, it will still leak. So the recommendation was to get it refaced, and he sent me to a chap called Paul Lynch, which is in the Catdown area of Plymouth, and I turned up there with my impeller and asked if they could, I told them I was sent there by Andy at A&M, because Andy does all his outsourcing machine work to him, and he said, yeah, okay, we'll sort it. And it was quite busy, he had all sorts of engines there and people turning up, and 10 minutes he had me sorted, and he said, oh, I'll deal with Andy with that. I said, no, this is my personal, Andy recommended for me to come down to here. So I said, this is my request, not Andy's. And he said, oh, okay, no worries. He said, don't worry about it. And he said, in the goodness of his heart, he said, look, it was only 10 minutes, don't worry about it. Yeah, I'll get you next time. And again, Paul Lynch of Plymouth and Catdown, I'm not sure if he's got a website. If he has, I'll put it on a link into this video. And I made another few friends down there, which was really nice. And you know, for the sake of just putting the impeller onto the lathe and just skimming a very few thou off the mating surface for the spindle assembly top seal was worth its weight in gold. I think that's getting a bit tight, so what I'll do is I'll remove this now and clean off the tap. Because all that swarf is built up inside these channels of the tap, which will, as you can see in here, it's all built up in these sort of channels here, which is designed to do all the cuttings. And you clean that out, and as they say, start again. I'm just getting rid of all that swarf that's built up inside. I haven't done a lot of video with working action, but I thought I would just do this today. Put a bit more cutting fluid on that. I should be able to put that in with my fingers. I took it out. We're nearly there actually, so I expect it to bottom out anytime soon. As long as I get the majority of the cut in there, it should be okay. Yeah, I think it's going in nicely. Right, she's starting to cut again. I don't really have to put too much pressure on it now because she should naturally go down now with the cut that's already made. Not for the faint-hearted, I guess, but you know, it is what it is. I think we're there, actually. I think that should be good. Yep, I think that will do. Oh, slightly not. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And as you can see, quite a bit more swarf on that one. Yeah, quite a bit still. So it's taking the rest out. So we're good enough to actually put in the helicoil now. Just going to clean off the tap. Here's the tool to input the helicoil, and there is a slight difference on the half moon there. One side's fatter than the other, so it'll actually go into you put the thinner side, I think it's that side, it'll pop into the slot, he says. And then, I just clean off the hole slightly. Make sure I don't take any of that down with me. Again, just going to ream it out with the, make sure there's nothing bad in it. Nope, that's okay. And in she goes. Oh, it's come out, it's going in. Now you could set this part here to a depth that you wanted, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wing it on down there until she gets into position. And I think, oops, I didn't want that to come out there. Now I think that would be, it's nearly tight. Yeah, I think that's tight enough. Now, that's the length of the bolt. So I can try the, you can see there she's slightly shiny, but that's okay. So I've got that much distance there, and she's taking nicely on that. So now I'm ready to fit back the gasket and the bolt, and that's the helical in situ. This is the thermostat, obviously. I'll get my gasket. This is a relatively new gasket, so once that goes down tight, she doesn't leak. So I've had a few people over the last few days stop and ask questions about the car, as people do, and yeah, there's been some good conversations. That's not taking in there. I'm not sure if that bolt's gone or not, but let's have a look. Hang on. Let's try the other one in the other side a minute. Make sure that's okay. Get them in there. I might need a slightly longer bolt in there, I think. Yeah. She's not taking, is he? Don't think I've got a longer bolt. He's putting a longer bolt in that one, I think, because the helicopter's gone down quite a way. So that one's taking. So what I'll do is I'll go and source another bolt and get that in, and I'll leave it there for now. What I want to do is start the engine up and show you that it's all running and it's not leaking, I suppose, really, once I get that thermostat housing sorted. Okay, so I'll just zoom out a bit, and yeah, it's all looking good. And then I'm going to sort of tweak the carbs again and then take it for a test drive. This time I might even try and film it. We've had some rain over the last few days, as everyone's probably aware, right across the country. So it's hopefully wait for a fairer day again and get it back out on the road, and I will film it while I'm out. So with that, I'll leave it for now. Thank you. Right, so after that's all in, get that torch out of the way. It's a bit shiny in the camera lens. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start it up. I'm going to put a bit of choke on it first. And I'll show you that it's not leaking. Turn the radio off, we don't need that. And let's have a look. Make sure everything's out of the way. Yep. Everything's bolted nicely. Yep. That's down nice. Oh, let me get the water cap on before I forget. Just so the system can pressurise. It's got an overflow just there. So if it does overpressure, she'll pop out there. So that's the that's all in there. Get this out of the way. Make sure that doesn't fly into there. The temperature sensor's on. They're damping nicely. Okay, so I've got a little bit of choke, and I shall start it. Turns on the key. what I was doing now, I was just blocking the inlet ports of each carburetor just to make sure that she will actually drop in revs, so she's not getting the right air mixture into the cylinder, the first two. So that's running quite nicely. So what I'll do is I'll get the torch down here, see if I can show you. And with this tiny little torch, it is somewhat better. It is somewhat better to give access. I'm just going to turn the screen around so I can see what it is I'm doing. Again, can you see in there? There's actually no leaks coming out of here. That's a better shot there. Yeah, that alternator's in the way. So that's dry as a bone. What I'll do is just give it a bit of a rev. Hopefully the torch will stay in place. It says. Just get that hooked on. Yeah, there's no leaks coming out of there. It's dry under here. Oh hell. Trying to do this one-handed is so I'm holding the camera at the moment. Let's get some more lighting under here. I did put some new fuel pipe on. It was a little bit perished. I was thinking of doing this one here, coming off the top there, put the main supply in. I did put new fuel pipe along there. And the floor's wet because she still hasn't evaporated away from the previous disconnection of the fuel water pipes. But yeah, just wait for it to get up to temperature. That's all sealed nicely. No water leaks there. It looks like it's a result, and nice little handy torch that, Mike. Thank you very much again. What I'll do is I'll take the choke off now. And she's up to temperature there. I'm running slightly high at about 1,000. I haven't got the air filters on though. She's charging nicely. Still a bit of fuel left. I need one thing I didn't realise with this assembly here, with this vacuum gauge, is I do need a bit of a breather on. So if I connect that on there, she will start choking. If I can't hold that, if I just put that to there, that's it. So that's it's going to do the same on this one as well, he says. Let's see what she can pull up to. Go do it again. Oh, that's because I held it on too tight. But it did cut out pretty quickly. That's heavy on the petrol. So that's alright, about not a million miles away, I don't think. So I'm just going to let this sit and run for a while, and yeah, I'm going to do the take the 2 dash pots off of the carburetors and just check the jet orifices again and set them up. Usually 12 turns of the flat underneath, or 2 revolutions once she's flush inside. So I'll do that again. Be worthwhile doing. And then set the we have to loosen off these 2 clamps here, so you isolate either carburetor when you adjust in the idle, and then once you've balanced them, you then tighten these back again. So what you don't want to do is to set your idle and adjusting this while this one's connected and moving as well. So they have to be. So once you loosen off these 2 nuts here, it'll separate this shaft here. So when you turn this one won't, and vice versa. Got the same sort of setup as well for the choke. Obviously, this gap here is the same as this gap here. You want both carburetors to be choked at the same rate at the same time. Okay, and as you can see, just roughly under 1,000 RPM. She's ticking over quite nicely. And the thermostat's open now. Got a nice pressure there, and nice pressure there. That water pump is fantastic, and coming back, the temperature's nice and cooler compared to that. So she's doing a job, and the temperature is sitting bang on in the center. There we go, job done as far as I'm concerned. I just think I've got to just fettle these carburetors, and once I do that, I'll take it for a test run and I will film it. Alright, so it looks like we've got a good result with the water pump, and I've had some good advice along the way from A&M Restorations, with some excellent help by Paul Lynch of Plymouth. I hope he's got a website, because I will put a link to it, because he's got all sorts of engines in there. People turning up with speedboat engines and mini racers and engines. Oh, I've got to spend all day there looking, but he's a very busy guy, and it's great to see. Alright, with that, I shall leave it there, and if you can hear me, that is, and catch me on the test run. Okay, bye for now.